What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over some tips for the new Most Wanted update in Fortnite. I've been able to play a decent amount since the update dropped and acclimate myself to the changes and the new weapons in game, so I'm going to be going over a lot of information that you're going to want to know in this video. If you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the Most Wanted update. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the heat system, because I completely misunderstood this based on the patch notes. I just really misinterpreted what they were saying. So the heat system, as you essentially do damage to enemies and fight AI on the map, you get increased heat. And what this does is it gives you different attributes, and it also reveals you on the map for the moment while your heat is increasing. So it's not like if you get 4 heat, you're at constant just like showing on the minimap. That is how I interpreted it early on. The brief period when you level up, that is when you will show. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if this is working properly, because I don't think I've ever seen anybody like, I don't think I've ever noticed it ever of anybody like showing because of the heat. So yeah, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like the giveaway effect really matters at all, but I do think it is incredibly impactful. It is important to get like as much heat as you can get. So what this is going to do is at the first level, you're going to get more gold for eliminating enemies. Not really that big of a deal. The second level, you will move faster and you will regenerate HP if you're not currently in a fight up to 100 health. So your base health will be regenerated. At level 2, you'll go up to 150 HP from not fighting. So 100 normal health and 50 shield. Think of it like Bush Warrior. You know, that cap, you can only get to 150 from Bush Warrior. Similar thing here, and you move even faster. And then at the final level, you move 25% faster, which is pretty significant. And then also you will regen all HP if you're not in a fight currently. So it does take quite a while for this to kick in, and it does take quite a while for it to tick up. You know, think of it like the overshield in Zero Build. After you're done fighting, it takes a little bit, and then your overshield kind of recharges. This takes longer to start recharging than what the overshield does, and it also recharges slower. So it's not like you're just immediate 200 health all the time, but it is incredibly helpful to just like have this as like a backup option, or just have this just in case, you know, you get in situations where you can't heal. In both Zero Build and builds, but in build mode, I do find this to be very helpful. And if you're someone who likes using the chug cannon, this is also really nice, because you won't have to use all of your chug cannon uses, or as your chug cannon is recharging, you can regenerate health. So I definitely recommend getting heat. One downside of this, aside from the fact that you might show on the minimap when you level up initially, is that the NPCs or the AI, the henchmen at the like locations, will be more aggro to you, but that's fine. The gold was also changed in this update, so a lot of things on the island cost more. Augments to reroll cost 200 now. Buying weapons from vending machines costs more. There's a lot of ways to use gold in this update that we'll talk about later on. But it's also much easier to get gold. Capturing a POI used to give 200 gold, now it gives 500. If you ever open any of the vaults, you get a ridiculous amount of gold. Chests give more gold. The, what are they called? The vaults, like the little safes that you can open, give more gold. Pretty much every source of gold that exists on the map, you get more of it now than you did before. So while things are more expensive, it's much easier to get gold. And I have seen people say that that first aspect of the heat, where you get more gold on elims, scales with each level. So if you're level 4 heat, you get a lot of gold from elims. I'm not sure if that's true or not, because I don't really pay attention to it that much. But I have seen some fat stacks of gold on people I've eliminated. And just typically this update, I've been using gold as I see fit. I've been using it a lot, which we'll get to later on. But I rarely find myself running out of gold. If I ever hit a vault or open a vault, I pretty much am always max gold after doing so. So while things are more expensive, you really don't need to be concerned about it as much. One of the ways that you can use gold is at phone booths. For 500 gold, you can increase your heat. And we talked about the benefits of heat before, and if you get to level 4, it's really nice. 500 gold to go from 1 to 4, it would cost 2,000 gold to do that. Not really worth. But if you clear your POI, like, you know, you kill the people there, you kill the henchman AI there, which you should be doing off spawn. After you clear your POI and eliminate the opponents, eliminate the henchman AI, because that will give you heat, and you want to have more heat. That way you can regenerate more health and move even faster. And then also, if the ping effect does happen when you level up, it's kind of nice to get that out of the way early game once you've already cleared all the people around you. So let's say you cleared your POI, you're at like 2.5 heat. Then you can buy one, you'll be at 3.5, and then from there it should be really easy for you to get to 4. So I rarely buy all the way to 4, but sometimes I use this like phone booth, the telephone, just to like top off my heat. There's also computers at gas stations that allow you to patch up, similar to what the vending machines, the heal vending machines used to do. You can turn into a prop for whatever reason, but you can also activate a rift here, which is super helpful if you want to get around the map quickly, and it's only 350 gold. That sounds expensive, but like I talked about before, you're going to be getting gold so much faster in this update, and being able to activate a rift at any gas station on the map is ridiculous. And then also from the vaults that I've been in, there was a computer in there that allowed you to activate a rift, which is really nice if you ever get into a situation where somebody's camping the entrance to the vault, or even if you're in a situation where, you know, you like landing the vault place that's on the far left of the map. I forget what it's called. Shattered Slabs. Let's say you like landing Shattered Slabs. You could clear that area, open the vault, hit a rift, and then while Shattered Slabs was an edge location, you'll be into the mix immediately. And then same with Faulty and Brutal Bastion, that guaranteed computer in the vault to make a rift. You can get away from these locations rather quickly if you need to, but also if you're in a situation where zone pulled far, buying a rift here can help. And it is nice to just get around the map quickly, because getting a hammer is harder with this update, or not really harder, but it matters more, because last update we had the Nimbus Cloud and the Shockwave Bow in the game. So if you were unable to get a hammer, maybe you could go for a capsule and get a cloud. You can go to one of the Dragon Ball machines and get a cloud, or you can roll augments for the Shockwave Bow. Now the only good mobility item in the game is the hammer, so if you don't get a hammer, it feels really bad. I highly recommend landing at a spot that has a lot of loot, or trying to land at a spot that has an Oathbound chest, because like getting a hammer has been super important for all of Chapter 4, but I feel like now is kind of the most the time you notice it most, because like super early on in the season, there was less loot in the Oathbound chests, so you were more likely to get a hammer from them. You didn't have to worry about getting the Falcon or the Guardian Shield. And then also you could roll for the Shockwave Bow. And then as they added more items to the Oathbound chest, the Nimbus Cloud came into the game, so you kind of had that as like a backup option. Whereas now hammers are inconvenient to get, and it's the only good mobility in the game. So you need to highly prioritize that, and if that means landing at an area with Oathbound chests, hopefully that works, but even that isn't a guarantee. And they also removed the NPC that sells the hammer. There used to be an NPC near the middle of the map at a castle that sold the hammer. He is no longer there. So getting mobility is super inconvenient. And that's one of the reasons why I was saying getting the rift out of that gas station can be really nice, because it sucks just walking around the map aimlessly trying to fight somebody, or try to find somebody, or trying to find a hammer. But if you end up not getting a hammer for whatever reason, it stinks. But go to the nearest gas station, rift, and then maybe look for somebody to land on, eliminate them, and then hopefully they have a hammer. Or rift to somewhere where you know there's like potentially some Oathbound chests you can open, or some more loot you can get and hopefully get a hammer. My point is, use the rift to find a hammer. Use the rifts. They're really good, and getting a hammer is super important right now. The henchmen also drop blue, red eyes, thunder pumps, and twin mags SMGs. So I like using the red eye, and I like using the thunder pump if I'm not able to get the exotic Maven shotgun. If you're ever in a situation where you can't find a red eye for whatever reason, check the NPCs. The henchmen are at pretty much every named POI on the map, I think, and even some unnamed spots have henchmen, it seems. So you shouldn't really have that hard of a time getting a red eye or a thunder shotgun, which is pretty nice, and then you're also going to increase your gold while doing so. The heisted weapons are incredibly good. I have a video I posted about them yesterday, kind of going over each one and what I think of them and how to use them. But the exotic Maven shotgun is incredibly good. I think it's probably the best weapon in the game right now. The exotic twin mag is good. And then even some of the others are more situational, but still really good. You can get them from vaults, hollow chests, vending machines, and there's even an augment that will give you a random one, which is really nice. The vending machines will sell it for 750 gold. So I definitely recommend checking the vending machines and seeing if it has that exotic Maven in it, because 750 gold for the best weapon in the game sounds expensive, but it is a nice price to pay for that. Heavy snipers are also back in the game, and they can one-hit you to the head. Even the blue one does like 300 to the head, I think, so any of them will one-hit to the head. They destroy cars incredibly well, and they also destroy cover incredibly well, so if you find yourself using them That is, nice to know. But you really need to play around the snipers in the game. Storm Mark is incredibly good for endgame. It's always been good. But now when you have to worry about people hiding anywhere, potentially one-hitting you, it's really nice to have that awareness in-game. And I just feel like in general, you need to play more passive in-game. Just a slight hiccup or a slight mess-up can result in your game just completely being over. So it's pretty unfortunate. I'm not a huge fan of having snipers in the game like this, but it is a temporary update. The heavy sniper will be removed on the 28th, which is when the most wanted stuff is over. But for the meantime, you need to respect the heavy sniper. And if you are fighting somebody that's using the heavy sniper, you need to be careful, because even if you are actively shooting them with a red eye, there's not very much flinch on the sniper at all. So they could still just delete you in one shot. It's pretty unfortunate, but you need to play around it, and I myself has been caught off guard by it several times. If you like sniping, I could definitely see a loadout of something like, Thunder Shotgun or Exotic Maven, Tactical Pistol, or Scar if you like that instead. And then like the sniper working incredibly well, because you could just one-hit people. A lot of people are going to take AR fights versus you, and just being able to delete them will work really nice. If you are unable to find a hammer, I recommend the rifts. Like I said before, go and rift onto somebody and hopefully that gets you one. But also slap can be incredibly effective because of the heat. So with heat level 4, and if you clear your POI of enemies and clear the NPCs there, you should be close to heat level 4, or at least a decent way through the heat. So you're going to be moving pretty fast, and when you combine this with unlimited sprint, it is pretty good. And the exotic P90 gives you unlimited sprint. As you have it out, you just have the slap effect permanently. So if you are unable to find a hammer, but you're able to get this P90, it's not the best thing. Same with Slap Juice. It's not my favorite thing to carry if I can't find a hammer, but it is better than nothing, and it will help you get around the map faster. It's just kind of not as good in a fight as the hammer, because if you get tags on somebody and want to push you, they can just beam you as you're like kind of running up to them. So it's not as great for that. And then the final thing we're going to talk about is going to be because of the heat system, pressure is incredibly important. So we talked before about how you can regen from 100. You can regen from 1 HP all the way to full HP and full shield if you're heat level 4. And while that is good, some people has also had a hard time closing out kills because of it. But it takes a very long time to regen that much, and it takes a very long time for the regen to kick in at all. So most people in game are probably going to have a decent heat level if they've done anything throughout the course of the game. So they're going to be recharging HP kind of 30 seconds after you're done fighting them. So you just got to keep that in mind and keep pressure on opponents. I don't really think it's a big deal. I've seen people complaining about how hard it is to close kills because of the heat system, but I always played kind of like pretty high pressure anyways. It's very rare that I get significant damage on somebody and don't end up eliminating them. But it's just something to keep in mind that if your opponent has been active throughout the course of the game, they're probably going to be recharging some amount of HP. I mean, heat level 3 is basically just built-in bush warrior to your character, and heat level 4 is even better than that. So if you do get significant damage on somebody, you want to close the kill. That really isn't that exclusive to the heat system or this update, though. I feel like that's always been the case in Fortnite. But that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys found it helpful and informative. If you did, remember to give a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below letting me know what you think of the Most Wanted update.